Now we've taken a bit of interest in what is happening in a number of mines and other quarries where mining and excavation is taking place. Last week we registered 4 deaths at mines and quarries.
Abachicho mishenjero abarmo mchicho mishenjero abantu babusura ya matemba owekinsa medadurwega segona barge batunga kakumu umukuru wihanga wereka guta 7 abokutora no mutabani kubasa kwa na muhindura omudumuzi wa mayiga Uganda.
Asobeza yazemu kola ensobi. Ensobi etakolebwa abantu balala abagunjofu. Nga tawuli taswadde kulonda mukyala we ku minister. Oyo tasobola kuswala kulonda mutabani we kukulembera maje.
Polisi yahamiza abanyaganda kwebyo kwerinda ahamyatano ya Uganda na Congo omburengeruzo bwa Uganda bahami yasha abantu kugumiza muno kwerinda.
The security situation continues to remain peaceful and calm internally and across our borderlines. We simply have increased activity along the western border.
Owekinsa Mathias Simpuga Nsamba yarga hamza abanyaganda kwatarukuza kuruga omukibina cha National Unity Platform no barayo bariyomba musindisa katinke kicere.
That should be understood. So whoever thought that they're hounding me out of NUP, I'm here to assure them that whichever indiscipline, mismanagement, mischievous maneuvers we are going to be in.
Aganagand Agarikwotsya.
Kurukayo hometo yitu Agarikwotsya ekizambase kubaninga kuletera mbojire kore no wato Gntv de EVAS AKANKWASA owekitinisa Mathias Mpuga ogo no wabireho omukuru ahaboro baju oruhabura government omushenjero yarga yabasa kubanabugana n'abanyamakuru bataro bamwe na bamwe kandi yagamba hanshonga zesente ze ezibirwe kandi tiyakomaho yagamba na hanshonga yo kuba omwe omubebembezi ninga abari mu kibine cya National Unity Platform kandi yatamya ngo kwebuzima tayiteka tekire no kuruga omukigombe ekyo katubirebe.
Abanyaganda binji na munonga abo rwazoro habura government omwihangeri erya Uganda hamwe nabo kagiro rwazoro habura government abarya heru yihanga batwire barinzire izo bankeri okuyo kitinisa Mathias Mpuga Nsamba omuno wabireho mukuru rwazoro habura government omwishengero ryitu erya Uganda barge bakamuhereza sente zirukwingana miliyoni 5 ubaro kumugira ngo nakasimo ngo yabyara mukuru rwazoro habura government akakora ebirungi byonka ngumwenu enkora birungi burizo ebizumurwa mwene kinteki kicaje kikatera ommatugabo bakuru ekibineki echa National Unity Platform bargayo no kwereka ubutashemerwa barukugira ngo Mathias Mpuga Nsamba twashemeye kubana rya ekituga obwa hati nguninga arukoresa kubi esente zo muhibo musoro bakargayo no kumugira ngo akwate sentezo azgareyo aiza esasa kibina cy'urubazo rabara government akubatungire sente zo muringo gwe kishobobo mukandi yata kukibasa arekwe no mwanya gube bamuhire ogwa commissioner wa parliament. Ebigambe byo na Mathias Mpuga Nsamba akabyima amisho hamwe na matu yagumiza muna koleke nukukurga yakarangira kwerizoba aganiraho n'abanyamakuru okubashobora buri kimwe cyo na ecyagenzere omisho bwirobwo mwenu Mathias Mpuga Nsamba obyaba naganiraho n'abanyamakuru erya Nyakazoba yabanza no kamizabe kibina cyo rubazora abara government cya National Unity Platform ngwe akiri memba wo kibine cyo ngukandi koma ahabwa member nuwe omwe umbatandikire kibine ki cya National Unity Platform
aniriza olwalero runasabye okogera ko negwanga ate no kubebaza okubeerawo ku twasusobaka bwangeri egwanga lyonna ekisooka bana Uganda bangi badde balindiridde nga beebuuza kikyenzerako kikyendowooza kikyenkola njala kuddamu ensonga bbiri enkyaleero okutangaza kyendiko. Ekisooka okakasa bana NUP nti nkyali memba mujjuvu, sinaba kuloota yadde okulowooza okuva mu kibiina kye natandika mu bwagazi ne mu kwewaayo ne mu kwefiisa. Singa nali njagala byangu nandibadde ngenda nabiriwo, naye okutandika NUP ne bannange kwali bumalirivu na bwagazi bwakolagana n'abalala okukyusa Uganda. N'olwekyo tewali muntu yenna ajja kungoba mu NUP, tewali agenda kunsindiikiriza. N'abadde bagezaako okunsindiikiriza nti ngende, njala bagamba nti wendi, era ngenda kwetaba mu bbanga eriddako mu mulimu omunene ogw'okukyusa enkola y'ekibiina. Ekibiina kibe nga tekitambula nga bwe twagala okujja mu buyinza, nga kitambulira mu biragiro naye nga kitambulira mu kugoberera amateeka n'emitendera, okuwuliziganya nga waliwo obutakkaanya ku nsonga yonna, okuwabuligana n'okuwangana ekitiibwa. Obanga oli memba, oli mukulembeze, oli full soldier, yenna gwe bawa ddata, gwe bapangisa okunvuma, ojja kunvuma ndi mu kibiina era nja kuddamu nga ndi mu kibiina. N'olwekyo sigenda kuseeseetuka, ndi deputy president w'ekibiina. Ekibiina weekiri nakiteekako amaanyi gange, obudde bwange. N'olwekyo omuntu yenna alowooza nti bw'onontyobola nga nva mu kibiina mwendi.
Owekitiinisa Matayasi Mpuuga Nsamba yarugayo n'okusobora kihandiiko kiyaregereyo akashoza arikwereka ko atiine musango gwena guyakozire okuwakiira esente ezo ez'akasiimo ezibamuhiire miliyoni zirikwingana 5. Ngoma musima kugira ngo byabire ari mukuru w'orubaju rwa government yakakora ebirungi byonka.
Akuddamu okutegeeza eggwanga ensonga gye nayisa mu kiwandiiko nti siina musango gwe nazza, era n'abagamba nti nyina omusango gwe nazza tebagunyonyola mu mateeka okujjako okupalapalanya. So kye nategeeza eggwanga nakali kye ntegeeza eggwanga nti buli kyenkola nkimanyi era nkitegeera, ate siri kapere mu kutegeera amateeka. Ekyokusatu okutegeeza abo bonna betukkaanya mu Uganda gye twagala okuzimba empya nti nja kubeera nammwe era sijja kukyuka era sikyukanga, naye okujjako okweyongera obumalirivu naddala nga ndaba embeera eyagala okujjawo ey'okusindiikiriza, okunyigiriza n'okutyoboola abantu abakoze byonna kye tusobola okuzimba wetutuuse. Nja kutambula nammwe, si mu NUP mokka, n'ebibiina byonna ne bassekinnoomu abakkiriza mu nkyukakyuka era nga bakkiriza nti Uganda weeri yeetaaga obununuzi obw'amangu. Kineeraliikiriza nti mu kiseera Omwami Museveni amaze okulangirira obwakabaka bwe, ate ffe abaagala enkyukakyuka tuli mu kulwanira bukunkumuko na bitole bya mmere. Nga Omwami Museveni amaze okuzzaako akyoka ebyokulonda ke tugamba nti kaakwata mu kalulu akaggwa, ffe ekibiina nga NUP
kandi akiine amaani mingi munonga g'okuheereza ihanga lye.
Njagala kugumya bannayuganda naddala abawagizi baffe abali ebunaayira. Bannaffe abali ebunaayira batuwagidde nnyo okuva bwe twatandika NUP. Beewaayo nnyo obudde bwabwe, ssente zaabwe ze bafuna mu bugubi okuyimirizaawo emirimu gy'ekibiina. Njala bategeeza nti sigenda kuseeseetuka ku ebyo bye mumanyiiko era bye nkyaliko.
Matayasi Mpuuga Nsamba yarugayo n'okuhabura bataahi be ab'orubaju rwa gavumenti aba National Unity Platform ngu bareke kukoma aha kugamba kwonka ngu bagumizemu bakwatanisize hamwe bahindure ihanga ry'eitu eri erya Uganda.
Nti nze ne bannange abalowooza nti tuziŋŋamye okukwatagana okulaba nti tuteekawo enkyukakyuka ez'omuggundu mu mateeka agafuga ebyokulonda, kubenga okwetaba kwamwe mu byobufuzi tekukoma kuteeka biwandiiko ku mitimbagano na kusonda ssente, naye nga musobola okulonda, musobola n'okubaako bye mubuuza mu butongole ne muddibwamu nga bannayuganda ab'obwebange, nga mwe muli n'okuteekawo ennongoosi za musemateeka okulaba nti bannaffe abali e Bulaaya, abali e Bunaayira, abali mu nsi nga babonaabona beetaba mu kukyusa eggwanga lino, so si mu bigambo bugambo.
Ahabwa Gntv Agarikwotsya ndi Clinton nahabwe.
abakuru okuruga omu kibiina ekya Forum for Democratic Change hamwe na NECHANID ekirikumanywa National Economic Empowerment barugayo bajumirira ekyamukuru w'ihanga w'ekitiinisa Yoweri Kaguta Museveni tubahaburwa kurugayo akabaasa kuba naateekaho mutabani General Muhoozi Kainerugaba okwebembera amahe bagira ngu ekikorwa eki nikibe munonga ngu kandi tikihikire busuma. Leka tubirebe.
Tuli mu kuzimba gavumenti ey'amagye era alowooza mbu democracy akula bongedde kukulaga ng'olulimi olugenda okubeera olwabika lwafata wiyo nyamaza omesemaji nolulimi lugenda otanga okukulira mu kabina era banaakukulira mbu eryo minisita gwe bakubye etteketo kyewuunya badagana oluyimba wadendudwe tukyewuunya era fwakyasooka okwogera ku watula katuli mu kwogera akasembayo ojja genda okulaba ng'oli wano nga bajja institutions work for some interested parties. Some of these categorizations can be bought for some other favor. You know, it's like a transaction. Help me tell Ugandans this, I'll do for you this. Because I've told you these facts are here. How would you attain a middle income status when businesses are closing? Because businesses give jobs. You tell us no. The business that were earning 10 billion, that were 125, are now 200. Hear you? But if the 125 and they are now 6, you tell me the ones that were earning 50 to 100 are 300. Hey, ninayo nyamutoro jai, ninayo abeli ya nabi bano jange. Namugamba nabo bajje wano bakoleki ngalinga akula kapati nagamba oli abadde mumagye ng'omusajja ebyafaayo byonna byonna tumuye byamagye mbalaza ekiri mu misolo ekiri mu bizinesi mbu zigudde eyali badde anoonya omuntu minisita w'ebyobusuubuzi n'anoonya omukugu w'ebyobusuubuzi yagambye oli abadde atudde mu kifo kya mutabaniiwe namugajjanga otuulireko wano oyo manager akola service ffe tuwangule oba yalidde kuba waliwo osanga manager alina abalala bakolera obanga yasibye omwana ebulayo biwulira mugundi yasibye zaala nga genero nga tawummudde n'amufuula minisita n'amuniza General Katumba Amala nga tawummudde n'amufuula minisita n'addira General David Muhoozi nga tawummudde n'amufuula minisita kati aleese General Mbaddi tawummudde amufudde minisita mwemusebe bannayuganda singa tebamusiibula oba ekyo baluli era n'addako agenda kuyingira ki kabineti nga tawummudde nga ki
za asimwa kagesi ahabwa GNTV Agarikwotsya
Oli omunyeshenjero wa Busiro East Hogan Honorable Medad Segona yarugayo n'okworeka k'omukuru w'ihanga Yoweri Kaguta Museveni akozire enshobi y'okuteeka omutabani ahabwa Chief of Defence Forces kandi yagira ngu eki nekyoreetera abanya-Uganda batandika kugira enteekateeka zitari zimwe na zimwe. Leka tubirebe nabi.
Obwahati abanya-Uganda bona bariyo nibebuuza aha mpinda hinduka y'omukuru w'ihanga rya Uganda arigireyo akakora okukwata omutabani General Muhoozi Kainerugaba akamuhereza obwa CDF barikwebuuza ngu ihanga ryitu riyo nitora nkahi kandi turiyo nituruga nkahi aiturukwiza kukomaho ninkahi mazima mwene mpinda hinduka egi egenizire yagambisa abanyishenjero batari bamwe na bamwe na munonga b'orubaju ruhabura gavumenti ngo munyishenjero Medad Segona erizoba yargayo no kuteka mushana Museveni yakozere enshobi y'amani munonga okukwata omutabani akamuteka habwa CDF ngo akuba gavumenti yona yaza kubane kurwa ekemwe
Kasobeza yazemu kola ensobi ensobi etakolebwa bantu balala abagunjufu nga tawuli taswadde kulonda mukyala we ku bwa minisita oyo tasobola kuswala kulonda mutabani we kukulembera magye abasooka okubikola bonna tebamaliriza bulungi naye ayina ensonga ze lwaki yakikoze abala yali awadde omutabani amaanyi mangi omanyi batugamba mutabani we kati bwe banaabeeranga mu meeting z'amagye agenda kumuyitanga daddy oba commander in chief. Omanyi bangamba nti lumu bali mu cabinet Mama Jane olulimi ne luseerera n'agamba n'ayita Museveni we yowe ng'olwo asala ku linnya lya Yoweri amugamba here is addressed as president oli n'agamba kankomewo n'asooka yeetooloolamu n'agenda amala okuggwamu ekiwugwe kano najja muyita daddy mu cabinet alina ensonga ze zino. Ensonga esooka Museveni abadde tayagala mutabani we yesimbewo 26 nga babadde balimba. Museveni yabala nti mutabani we ajja kwesimbawo 31 kubanga naye akyayagala.
Honorable Medadi Segona yargayo n'okukiteeka aha mushana ngu Museveni ariyo n'akuliriza omutabani okugira ngu n'ateekateeka ngu yaza kuruga obwa hati kuhika 2031 n'abaasa kuba takiri mu magara g'ensi mwene omutabani yaba mutiire omu mwanya gwa higuru n'abaasa kurugayo ategeke ihanga lya Uganda.
Ateebereza nti wakati wa lwaleero ne 2031 Katonda ayinza okuba amuyise. Simanya ani yalimba Museveni nti Katonda akubuulira ebifaanana bwe bityo. Museveni ekisooka si wa kufa kati. Museveni alina okubeerawo nga tafudde akaddiwe awulire ku nnaku nga tufuga Uganda obulungi. Nze esaala yange abeerewo tufuge Uganda bulungi. Museveni awulire ennaku afune ekiziiro mu mutima. Ati alowooza nti ayinza obutatuukayo n'olwekyo kanveewo just in case nvuddewo ng'amagye galina okutaking over. Owokuntikko yaba taking over naye owokuntikko si be ba taking over all the time. Ekyokubiri ayagala mutabani we amuteeke mu vantage position nti bwe bamuritayarinze 31 agenda nga mu magye bamutunuulirako ng'omuntu akulembeddeko ku magye ye ego ya Museveni. Naye tufudde bagenda tukuba. Olaba badde atukubira bbali. Naye kaakati ng'atudde wali mu ntebe ekutta omuggo. Tuli mu kiseera kizibu nnyo. Kitulina okukola nekeme kubinga Bugwa amenyesemenyese. Kwe kwekunga tusitukiremu tuzimbe Bugwa omujja kubanga Bugwa amenyese. Mutabani wa gundi nga bwe batugamba nti mutabani we nga yatuddawo emigga egigenda otunyookerako Katonda y'anaamanya.
Mbwenu omumpinda hinduka ezirigireyo zikakorwa mukuru w'ihanga lya Uganda wabireho minisita w'ebyokwerinda hamwe n'enshonga z'abankazirwanaho mu ihanga lya Uganda Owekitinisa Vincent Bamalangaki Sempija aligireyo n'okunagwa ashobozibwa omu bwa minisita bweno bwa hati takiri minisita eki Honorable Medadi Segona aligireyo n'okumuhumuriza ngu ahumure ebya Museveni n'okwe bitwire na kukolesa kyeza kukolesa akuteeka aha rwazu mwenu ahura ahumwire ebyo nibyo bukubaho omu magara g'omuntu.
Njagala kusaasira mutabani wange Vincent Bamalangaki Sempija. Omusajja n'akola mineral shuffle y'abantu simanyi bataano nga gwe target gwe gwagwaza oggoba n'akubandolenga n'ekitutu n'ennandutu. Omwana waffe yabbaki omwana waffe yattaani okutuuka okumutagetinga bwatyo n'amala omugoba n'amusikiza omumyuka we muto wange mukulu wange Yakobo Obos kisooka namuweereza dde obubaka obw'okumusaasira ebizibu by'okwongera okugejja. Obos by his nature is a decent man. Tosobola mu deployinga mu kabineti ya Museveni n'otamusaasira ffe abamumanyi ate abalabye Museveni nga tukula. So Mpija musajja wattu. Kakati Museveni naddira bamobilizers ba PLE bonna n'abaleeta eri n'abajjayo. Yayagadde kutwanguyiza twekunge tugende tuwambe PLE tugize eno nga PLE bwevuddewo nga terina bukulembeze tugende tuyooleko be tuyodde tubaleete abanaafikawo banaakunkumuka baddayo wa Museveni ne tunabatuleese eno baligenda okutuuka okusirwala okuddayo ng'era tumaze okubozaamu bamaze okukola oba oliawo mu kiseera ekyo bayinza n'obutaddayo nga Museveni tumaze omusuula.
Honorable Medadi Segona yargayo no kwabura abembezi batari bamwe na bamwe ngwakana ko kire bareke kondana nko busambi bwegari ngwaze ahasaidemwe bikirizane bamanye binekora ki kandi binekureka ki
kikiseera twetereze tuve mu kwerumaaluma mu buntu obutone nyini atulazeeko ekyokubiri kakati eri gye yali atumye mutabani we he has demobilized tugende tubanone tubasombe luno lwe tuli mu lutalo era saagala ffe twekuluntaze nti abali eyo bonna babi bajje tubanaaze olidde tubatereeze kubanga mu lutalo abo bonna beetaaga mu lutalo bwe tuba tugenda tutwala n'abanaakola ebyobusiru bonna tubeetaaga mu lutalo olugaba Museveni era naye bwe yali agenda mu nsiko abasiru n'ababbi yabatwala kakati olwokuba naffe tuli mu lutalo lwa Mugoba n'ababe ebwe munaabamu abagezi tubatwale ebwe munaabamu abasiru tubatwale ebwe munaabamu abazigu tubatwale oba oli awo bajja tuyamba okumukola ki okumujjako tunaabanaaliza eno ne jik
ahabwa GNTV Agarikwotsya ndi Clinton nahabwe
abanyishenjero batari bamwe na bamwe baragayo no kweraganisa kuno bije kurebeka ngo bagarura mu ishenjeri iteka ero gukora abakozi bona abemirimo itari yemwe mu mihanga angeri binji bakumanya kamene mama weje kandi bajyana bashaba government kugira ngo riteka baba ritire mamane uciro kwataho ateho mukono nariyo basekorera byamo katubirebe.
Prime Minister, it is only Uganda that does not have minimum wage.
Eri Nyakazoba abanyishinge bargaye no kushaba government kwebasa kurgayo kandi honna ekateka hiteka eryeregereye kandi erikumanywa kiri ya minimum wage bill ningash iwejo kwasa kumanya nkiteka erukwata amishara y'abantu ningashi omusharo gwine kuba no gutandikirwaho omundu muyangira ya Uganda abakozi bona bwanyuma ya mukuru w'yangira ya Uganda we kitinsa yureka Gotv 7 okurgayo itekeri yakargarra atartiro ho mukono omukugamba mukachiko honeri Nyakazoba Honorable Rwakajara ogurukujekera abakozi zo mwishinjere ko rihangira ya Uganda yargayo no kugira ngo bahata abanya Uganda binji barono batunga uburemeze nangwa no buzubu abo kugira ngo itekeri teri yakatirwe mu nkora kandi hona cyargayo no kugira ngo ndiyetagisa kandi ryine kwija mangu
to his PS that we can have this kind of discussion and we see whether minimum wage can discourage investors or promote investors. Because in this region, Prime Minister, it is only Uganda that does not have minimum wage. And I want to inform you that it is us who have disappointed investors that go back every day. So the cause of discouragement of investment in Uganda is a different case, especially corruption, which you have not addressed. So when you're discussing in SEC, which is a ruling party where you sit, and in the cabinet, please let's handle these issues. Those workers, when they are not discouraged, as I said in the morning, when they are not motivated, the economy will never grow, Prime Minister. But you can create for us that environment through your technical people, and we'll have this kind of discussion so that we can have a way forward. Prime Minister, thank you.
ababajwekire government hona bargaye no kugira ngo itekere enshayo na rubanze rushijume kurungi kandi kiraheze nerigije kutebwa mu nkora kandi batiyo bana barteho mukono.
That the debate on the minimum wage has not been closed by the ministry, and in her remarks when she was launching that board, the minister tasked them, these are experts drawn from across strata of society, and at the same time with representation from all the social partners. They are on that labor advisory board.
Omukuganiraho n'abanyishinja bari mu kachikomo ahaba harimo nkoro kujekera abacyala bashema owe kitinza Honorable Rosemary Nyakikongolo yargaye no kugira ngo itekeri niryetagisa ko abanya Uganda binji bagenzero mission no ko batirwa ubugabe bwabo kanangwa no kushangana bakora bakutunga kasente kake kandi batakwetungura najyangu yaryizere abanya Uganda nibijaganyiramo
n'ekintu kirungi abo kwano ushangara abakozesa abakunyaga abantu umwana korabusha atoba ashomire nanguluko potashomire kukoza kutunga umurimo amwirwa kona bakunyaga no kushashura akandi minimum wage ne tetkugira ngo nabo bashomire bo kandi ngabari mu formal sector no shangana even ba maids abakoze singo mumaka kuba kweza kora babashoboza batagiye batabashakira
Honorable Kajara hona nawe utashanga mu ofisi ye bwanyuma ya rukikoro yargayo no kugira ngo iki kitwire kirinzirwe kandi hona abanyayuganda bingi bakitegereze kukibasa kutecyo bwo mu nkora kandi rikabiteka batyo ubundi bakaganyurwa.
So such things have caused us to have less investors than even other countries who have minimum wage. So to me, it is a very embarrassing situation, and really we need to restart this debate. So the minister and permanent secretary have assured me that the debate actually happened.
Honorable Alan Mayanja na wogo yargayo no kujumirra arikugira ngo government eferire yo kinji kandi Museveni amateka gminji nagateka mukono bitu kugakwika amateka nkaga go kwata abantu babutosha tagatiro ho mukono.
Why to addresses the employment amendment biya bili mwesatu naye nakati olwalero kutunulira mu Museveni bajja ne bayimba wa PDM naye ministry ya gender nga 5 billion zebalina okuwaayo bamobilizinga abantu ku PDM tebataddeko yadde billion emu yadde 11 kyokka owulira baliyo balimba abantu PDM kati PDM ogenda giyimba otya nga ne sente wano mu ministry of police totadeko yadde ensimbi n'emu ey'okumobilizinga abantu olwaliro kutunulira sente.
Twahe Ronald ahabwa GNTV aha Parliament.
Kandi twagumizamo erizoba district y'Orurembo Rwambara bashitamo mu kanso kandi bahereza embalira y'esente okubasikozise y'N2024 n'N2025 kandi bagira ngo bagumizemo nuboreka betenga byingi oba hati nibija kuba betenga esente ezirukwinga n'obuhumbe bona ogumizamo ne bukozesebwa omumbalire ndishu katobire
2025 of perusal, scrutiny and analysis in the time provided by the law.
Iriya Nyakazoba district y'Orurembo Rwambara hona bargayo batyo nabebembezi bona bashitamo mu kanso kandi mu kanso ejya bargayo bakakosa kagisha abakurukuruka ahakachikwa kakura ka district ningashi district executive committee okurgaye kalete mbalira ya district kandi etyo ekagihereza ubukiko bona kugira ngo babase kutaha nabo bashujume kurungi embalira z'ubukiko bwabo kandi ko baraheze bwanyuma yo kubushujuma batyo babugara. Minister w'ebyesente ahabwa district yambara owekitenisa Honorable Simon Twashaba hona no yargayo kandi atyo akashoma imbalirege nangwa ne papura ati akabihereza ubukiko.
And another item under administration department, we have human resource office. It has been allocated 54,207,684 Uganda shillings. Finance has been allocated 51,205,792, which gives us a total of 1,207,117,619. Number 2, or the second department, is statutory bodies. Under statutory bodies, we have clerk to council with 15,800,000. Then we have council with 80,800,000.
yakosaka gishaka okubasa nangwa no kushoma embalira y'amagomborera gona agari mu district yambara kandi akabereka nangwa ne sente ziba kutekateka kwija kuteka mu mbalira erikwenda kutandika omwaka ogwenyine ogwe2024
Rubaya sub-county 27,457,530. Kashari sub-county 31,731,739.
Mwanyuma yo kwereka sente ziri mu mbalira y'amagomborera kanangwa no bitongore byone bya government mu district yambara yaragayo no kuhereza omuhendo gwona kandi district netekatekwa okukora embalira erikwinga n'obuhombe bona,
which gives us a total of 4,527,041,334. I beg submit and suspend.
aho nayo yarga no kosa ubushobozi bweye akarangira ningashaka gamba omutwe gw'embalira rege eratamburroho okugira ngo byonna bikabasa kushikira.
Mr. Speaker, the theme for the fiscal year 2024-2025 has been retained as full monetization of Uganda economy through commercial agriculture, industrialization, expanding and broadening services, digital transformation, and market access. Thus, the budget will aim at achieving 3 broad strategic interventions.
Orchamani w'entebe ya katano habwa district y'orurembo rwa Mbarra ow'ekitiinisa Didas Tabaro hona yargayo n'okwosaka gishaka omu kanso okubasa kuhabura abebembezi beye nangwa n'abakansara okureka gumana bagambira eryo kandi baketwara kandi ane yargayo n'okugira ngu okutiiza tikibi kandi nangwa okurya wenka n'ekintu kibi munonga naye yagira ngu nibija gumana bagenda omu misho n'ogumana batiiza ebyoma byabo bakatiiza district ezihererine okugira ngu nabo bundi district ekajya kiyaganyirwamu.
Wampara is our sister district and we cooperate with them whenever they are also human beings. We find they also have monies but they don't have people that work on their roads. So when we give it to them for 3 days or 4 and they repair them at their cost, the district shall have benefited. That is the most benefit we get from them.
Orukura byokwerinda mu district ninga shiwo kwasa kweta RDC Resident District Commissioner kandi rukwijja akajwekera mukuru w'ihanga awa district ya Mbarra imekatera to y'abagenyi hona yakosaka gishaka mu kanso no kugira ngo wahatiya ebyokwerinda biruguruguru kandi hono mbwire butarwa hareba no batandika kikwekweto cyo kwasa korondereza abo bona abarire sente za PDM bakabura kuzikosa ebyabe bishemerire koro
of forceful recovery of the defaulted funds of the ENIOG. I have already made a program with the commercial officer and I expect the commercial officer to be in my office tomorrow by 9. And since I have a go-ahead from the District Security Committee that all these people should be arrested and arraigned before court. Mr. Speaker, sir, I also addressed the DCC which is being composed of chaired by the Chief Magistrate, and we have agreed that the defaulters be criminally charged. So tomorrow, if you hear in your areas of jurisdiction people being apprehended, that will be exercised. We cannot allow billions of government money being put to us.
Orukura abakozi habwa district ya Mbarra ninga shiwo kwasa kweta kawo ow'ekitiinisa David Muhwezi hona yargayo omukanso muno kugira ngu bwahate abantu bona bine kuzorerisha aho kuba hariho kugema okoroho nkufutandika kugenda omu misho omu ihanga ryona.
Campaign egi izatandika ebibiri ka ebomwe tugenda kuvaccinatinga Mbarra kugira population structure yitu abantu emzali 14 That is the target the minister was giving us.
Naye yargayo no kushaba bebembezi okubasa kurgayo nabo bakaterera omuranga abantu babonangwa bakashomesa abantu okubasa kugenda bakejemesa omushwija gwa rukaka okugira ngo bakabasa kuguma bari abahurire.
So this time it is for Ankole and some other regions of the country. We have seen those things on TV. We are requesting you to help us to mobilize. Mobilizing abantu bona participate mugambira abantu amukwebembera bwebukatwe byene birungi yine kizibu kwiyongereza okwekingira omushija gwa rukaka.
Zasimwe kagezi ahabwa Gntv omurembo rwa Mbarra.
Omugobusasi okorwa mu district ya Mukono abantu bana baferire omu kirombe ky'amabare kandi polisi yaryo yabasakwa nehamyebe n'okushaba abantu abarokora mu birombe bitari bimwe na bimwe okwegendesereza katubirebe.
Now we've taken a bit of interest in what is happening in a number of mines and other quarries where mining and excavation is taking place. Last week we registered 4 deaths at mines and quarries, which calls for better safety protocols at mines and quarries. You're aware we've had a history where most of the people who die in mines and quarries are trapped and some suffocate to death. Last week around the 19th we have 2 victims, casual workers at one of the gold mines in Rujinji B village that is in Kasanda. They had gone for their routine gold mining work. but they were trapped due to lack of oxygen and suffocated to death. The two we have Sengiyumva, aged 24, and Ntezeriaho, aged 34. The mining pit belonged to Chitio, only one name. It lacked safety gears, electricity, there was no supply of oxygen. So the victims who entered the mine at 5 a.m. Got trapped for almost 16 hours because they ran out of oxygen at 4 p.m. From 5 a.m. in the morning. So we retrieved their bodies and subjected them to post-mortem and handed over. Then we had 2 other incidents where 2 victims were buried while carrying out excavation and mining of stones and marram. One of the incidents happened in Namukekenda village, that is Bubago Parish, Namutumba district, where a one Gaule Brian, aged 18, was buried after the roof of the quarry where they were mining stones and marram gave way or caved in and buried him to death. A brother of his called Michelle Michael was rescued and rushed to Bukonte Health Center for treatment. The site also had no safety controls. Then also on the 23rd at around 4 p.m. at Kumbugwe Hill in Nachufuma Nagalama Town Council, there is also a stone quarry which collapsed and buried a female adult and mother called Namwaje Esther. She was mining stones and excavating stones. Concerned residents tried to rescue her, but they retrieved her body when it was lifeless. So she also died under those circumstances. But why we are taking additional interest is that we've tasked the territorial commanders to work with the respective districts, and where there are no safety standards and protocols in place, they should ensure that those mines and some of the illegal mines and those quarries that are not safe for excavation and mining should be closed until additional investment in terms of safety measures are put in place. So these incidents highlight the serious danger that mines and quarries have. There are no safeguards in form of rescue equipment, electricity, constant supply of oxygen. There are no lifeguards. The walls have fractures from blastings and easily collapse when there is a vibration or from weights above. Now, we've established that faults in form of collapsed roofs and walls are the #1 cause of deaths in mines and quarries, which makes excavation and mining so dangerous. The rocks and soils, like I said, above or on the sides can break free during the mining process, and or they can destabilize an entire face of rock. The other big risk that miners should also take into consideration is asphyxiation, where the mines contain dangerous gases. The deeper they go, there are low levels of oxygen, so some victims have been inhaling dangerous air and gases, and which has been causing their death. Other causes have been passage collapse, rock falls, drowning, and we want to work together with proprietors of these quarries and mines to prevent some of these dangers when we put safety measures in place.
Iherya Uganda ya UPDF izo biriya imaze rweneje gusa imyaka 18 iri yatandikireho ejo mazire okuhika kuyabatandikaho sako ya wazalendo kandi muri abo birari umujyi mukuru habirari owabiro mdumizi w'amahe General Kale Kayihura abashabire okurebeka ngo buri musirikare wena yayijumbira omusakweje ngo ejo ncyo kirije kubanci babasa kubika kandi nangwa baketungurombe barukora katubire
owabiro umudumizi wa polisi omundu mwihangiri ya Uganda retired General Kale Kayihura hona yargaye no kugira ngo obuyabe akira umukuru wa polisi akageza aho ko leta umukago ningashe ekitongore cyo kumanywa nke cya wazalendo sako omba polisi okugira ngo bakagumana babika kasente kabo ngo bita karwanisubwa kandi abantu bingi bakaze nyumokwe bamurumirira kandi bamuremesa nangwa ekitongore kibasa kurgayo kandi abasirikare bakakizamo iki yakugira ngo none iki kikashishira munonga obusinge kandi hona nangwa kikashisha omugisha gw'abasirikare gwa bebine okugira ngo bakayitungura obu barikubika kasente kabo omuriye cyo kibina.
I was in the police. I tried to introduce it in the police, but I was fooled. I found some amorphous thing called, you remember Omodi, something called Pasar. So, and the beneficiaries were those top people, the directors, not the am I wrong, Omodi? Not the lower ranks. And me, my concern was the lower ranks. It had no regulations. It was just managed by a few people. I don't want to name their names. And they really made it difficult for Exodus Circle. Because it was obvious that was the answer.
Ebyona General Kale Kayihura bigambere umurikiko rw'umurundo gw'18 orwabura umwaka urukubaho uricyo bintu cyo kumanga cya wazalendo sako kandi hona nahargire yakagera ngo obwahatwa bamuremise okukora umukagogwe umupolisi na wakalinda yahunama mpaka higwirigire yo kandi ukimuse umutwe kandi obwahate nawe agwegiseremo.
But anyway, so I could not go to Exodus Circle because it was leaping. I kept on at home with my wazalendo circle.
Urukiko ruberetebekanisiwe hona abantu nyamwingi babasize kwikaho abasirikare nangwa nabo bona barkwebembera polisi kandi urukoriro Barracks erikumanga ya Gotv erikushangwa mu rujinje orukura mu kagogo gwa wazalendo sako bwirobo kano Onata Joseph hona ko zisaka gishaka mu rukiko nurumo okwasa kugira ngo ubwahata mu kagogo ruhongo kora kurungi kandi ayongeye no kwita abasirikare n'aba polisi okubasa kwija kubegitaho kandi bakagumana babika kasente kabo nogo mu kago ahabwo kububwa hati aba bargireyo bakabika mu kasente baganyirwe mu cyango kandi barono batunguka.
Inform you that this year through our careful handling of your circle, we made here, we are before the cameras, we don't want to use some names which will cause us trouble. So for us, we don't make profit. You press people don't go and say Wazalendo Circle made a profit. Ours is a humble surplus. Ours is a humble surplus. This year, we made a surplus of 72.7 or something billion, not of a million, but billion. After we have served you, after you have, so the circle is doing extremely well.
Lieutenant General Peter Erero hona nawo mu rukiko nurorumwe abasize kwikamu kandi omukuganiraho argereyo no kushaba abasirikare okubasa kugendo mission no kubika no mukagogo ahabwo kuba nuguje kuba yambanyense yakande nabo obushange bagire kibayegiramo kandi batunguka kandi akozisaka gishaka okubasa kushaba abasirikare bonda abari yombwebembeze okubasa kora kurungiye ngo ahabwo kubesha yona nibije kurwo mu ntebe zibarumu kandi oshange abantu batako bakunda.
Remember that at the end of the day we shall live, and when you live, you must live with praise behind, and you should live when people are happy with you.
you should live with the dignity when they are. Don't live with problems. Okay? Very, very important. Let's remain focused on our values that our elders put into us. Remember those. Forget about running after money. It is what of this world. People are running here and there.
nuko kuhendera atyo ariko beshongoramu akeshongoro ariko basigira umugisha okugira ngo bakore kurunje mirimo yabo.
Ruhanga jitwe ruhango panam ruhango koyo ori kwera erizoba twakushaba
za asimu ahawa GNTV Agarikwotsya.
Ebitongore ebyo kwerinda harimo ekya UPDF, CMI, police na n'ebindi byarugyo byahamza abanyayuganda kuba ariyo nibongera ebyo kwerinda hamwe n'obukuumi aha mwatano gw'ihanga rya Uganda n'ihanga rya Democratic Republic of Congo. Ebyona nibabikora kwongera kutangira abazugu n'abazambuki ba ADF obutatahirira ihanga rya Uganda kurugo mu Congo. Katubirebe.
The security situation continues to remain peaceful and calm internally and across our borderlines. We simply have increased activity along the western border in the Rwenzori region, following threats of ADF along that axis. Other than that, we carried out successful policing of a number of events, including the consecration of the Bishop of Luwero. We had a major event in Bukedea. We successfully policed the elections for the Dokolo woman representative to Parliament. All those went successfully. But we simply want to start by informing the country that we've intensified our patrols along the western borderline of Uganda with the eastern DRC. Our joint security agencies of police, UPDF, in coordination with the joint intelligence components of CMI, ISO, crime intelligence, are actively monitoring our external borderline with DRC, following the infiltration into the country of a few notorious ADF rebel leaders. Our counterparts, the UPDF, released a statement last week. As the serious hunt for the rebel leaders and other ADF remnants continues, we call upon members of the public to remain vigilant into the face of these threats. In particular, we would like to caution all our security personnel to be very alert, and including those who are manning VIP installations, protecting politicians, and we want to warn any of those persons who will be found harboring or collaborating with these remnants of ADF rebels to know that they will suffer consequences once arrested. But we want to assure Ugandans that, like we've always done, we are doing everything within our means to locate these remnants of ADF who filtered into the country with the objective of disrupting their mobility and proliferation within the country. Of course, we know that because of the much firepower and the continuous dismantling of their criminal hubs in the DRC, they would want to re-establish domestic or sleeper cells within the country. So these threats are real, but they simply call for increased vigilance and caution at all levels. Those who go to eating points, those traveling in buses, taxis, and so on, all our police officers at major police stations, people in tourist locations, hotels, clubs, restaurants, places of worship, educational institutions, market, shopping malls, and so on. We simply called for vigilance, including soft targets. You know, somebody who wants to promote panic and fear in a country will even go for a soft target. Get some kafunda deep there and attack that, and then, of course, they come up with their messages of alleged success. So basically that is that. We know they are hiding within the country, but we wouldn't wish to allow them to re-establish their operational terror cells within the country. We shall give an update because there are certain leads that we are following.
Eminyeto okwetorera omuyanga lya Uganda yegere yabasakwa nesima omwebembezi w'ihanga ow'ekitiinisa Yoweri Kaguta Museveni tubaburwa abokuronda ow'ekitiinisa Barambargahara kugira ngo abase kuba nayebembera ekimba eminyeto kandi bagira ngo eki nkija kuba nkibongera okukurakurana omuyanga lya Uganda tubakomanaho omuruvamwe omuri abo harimu nka Michael Katerebe yayegita lyabo bariyo nibatere urru eyokweyita abantu bona okwegita kwemeka Bishop Dr. Silas Tayewa katubirebe uko byagenda.
Bamwe ominyeto yihanga ryitweri erya Uganda wahadaka mwenyo katurya amatama abo kushanga ngo president w'ihanga rya Uganda His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni tubaburwa agire kuronda abebembezi b'emyeto na mnonga nkaba minister yakwata minister w'ekitiinisa Barambargahara kando guno musigazi enkwata buta omuntu agerezeho kwehurwaniraho nko muntu akatekaho za business zitari zimwe na zimwe kano uturebere arukwaraho ombiri na mnonga omuntu ngukayihangeri arukorabera omu business zitari zimwe na zimwe mbwenu omumpindika ezibakozere turebere ngo Baramu natekwa kutkora itwenke myeto akubogu no muntu awayegire kugira cyayekoraho kandi hamwe nano kugira cyakoraho emyeto etari emenemwe akubaza business zakozere zihire eminyeto nyingi emirimo kandi ubwa hati ntumwesimisa mico turiyo tugira ngo Museveni akoze ikintu cy'amani mnonga kutugerezeho no kushika ominyeto emyete mweriyo eshemerirwe mwene rya Nyakazoba tishika aha munyeto wantungamo wekitiinisa Michael kakwishikere katurebe kandi ogunawe kiyaba nagamba kikwatine nano kuhereza Baramu entebeji yajyango kinteki nekintu kirungi mnonga
yeni ntegateka ngo rishafe kozurwe abanya-Uganda bingi ni rishafo iba appreciatingire nanye ko muntu ni appreciatingire abo kwa wobire no kulatira trends za politics zihanga n'ibintu bitambura no kurebera kimwe minus unko muntu kabaramu orenga no muntu oyazireho mbiri kandi umuntu bira patient konko kuba patient no muntu oshomire or qualified mbwenu ekintu kitwereka itwenke minyeto ngo twatwine target ezitwine ekitabo twine kukinaga ekitabo twine kukwatsa samani wande tujyangwe emirimo ebuzire konko nomukora kwemira opportunity ya showing up gumiza muri kongera kitabo kugira ngo opportunity yohwe izire ekushanga already kandi kindi twongeye kuba patient on patience egitwa tujine ekyamazima ntukika birungi konke kindi ekyuka pointing eminyeto ekazo mu cabinet nyoni njireba nk'ekintu ekindi kutwigura emishu tonke eminyeto kikatwereka ngo government emune jeza kuteka mwanjo mbweni zo twe positioning eji abo kwa yatwereke ngo amane emune gagaro minyeto now musigaza n'ikibuzo cy'kugira ngo itwe twetebekanise tuti nkeminyeto so twetebekanise je tumanye ngo bunu bobwire bwitu kandi ekikozo cyereke ngo nitwe ine contribution itwasa kuteka at even at higher levels mwene kintu twincheka confidence e government emune ejiro minyeto hati nywe niwe abakiryo kwa here twine kwebuza are we prepared enough kugira ngo occupying offices ezi so government yageze kutusika nitumureke twesiki kandi tuturesike tuterundine tukakwatira hamwe
Michael kakwishire kutumburiza hamyeto butagira mirimo mwihangari ya Uganda agize ngo ekintu ekibara munade kwa kuchirwanisa ngo akuba no muntu wo mwesigwa kandi no muntu ayino gumisiriza kwa mani munonga hamwe no kuyamba eminyeto yihangeri
nyoni nchiriza ngo unemployment omuntu yaba ayino mutima gwihanga yaba ryo muntu uri facing reality no reba abantu abingi mbaba ryo mu ntebe batakumanya reality ya ground Chingo kwa kuyugusi okwo kuyinejara okasinduko yugusi kuza kutekera konka tureba bara no muntu obire atwire kurugira mirimo yabe nakora itwe tureba no muntu otwire na atwire no muntu wahansa munonga kandi yamanya dynamics eziringahi eziriya hansa a ground so nyonyi no kwikiza munonga kwangu ko kugira ngo engeri yabe yafesingire challenge ya unemployment kandi atwire nabana akoze nabo nyoni nchiriza ngo approach yeye yije na approach yeye ko kwagigambire kugira ngo agaruka abana begiso okwegita abuko no reba tukiya twayitagura munonga nkeminyeto ningasha abana bato ningasha abana unemployed so cyaturetero umwe irakaryita rutahuru mbweni yija nko munda akimusira yeminyeteje akatwimusizira kandi akatera platform nko kwagambire akateka training centers kandi training centers no reba Chinte chenje uri charesiremu necho kugira ngo kwegesa abantu bakaramoje kusibisho ki kandi binisho kiri yakaweke batarasibisho ki wantegereza konka mwe waleta skills kandi ukaziretera mu regions zezikumwakinga nazo amazima unemployment no basa kugirwanza konka kandi tishu twine no kugeza kushomesa skills konka ukazireta in the wrong population so skills zezo washomesa in the right population in the right group of people eshamazima abantu bakaba involved unemployment no basa kuzigirwanza mbweni mwebaza
Wechitinisa omunyeto Michael kakwishire yagumiza mukandi yayetana abantu bantungamo hamwe n'ensiyona mu bizebe gitera hamwe omukwemeka omureberezi w'amakanisa ga Mungu mwema ahabwecweka ecyankore wechitinisa Dr. Silas Tayebwa kandi gunwa kurebera amakanisa gona ga King of Kings International Ministries omwihanga area Uganda hamwe na heru ebiro bina ebyokwezi kwa kana umwaka ogwenyino guturumu ogwa mukamaro hanga
abanyantungamo abanya-Uganda ni mbeta mwena kwija kwegita a King of Kings Church kandi kwegita Bishop Wito Murungi Bishop Silas consecration yeye kandi mazima tumwendeze birungi byonka kandi sima initiation age kugira ngo at least ikanisa yitu emne yongera kuba organized kugira ngo at least hierarchy and bureaucracy emnegeza kubaho kugira ngo tumanye emitendera tumanye ngo twine bishop uri kutukurira twena orahumurize ningashaka guidinga okutambuza kwekanisa nyoni mbani ncyakira nko wishemwe imbani ncyakira cyumwe kandi nyebaza initiation egeruho at least hierarchy neza kongera kugita edinitu y'uburokore kandi yongeye kuteka amezemwe tuganire nkabishemwe kandi umwe habaho ubutikirizana tumanye nkaro leadership ekire ira tugarkanisa mwe nimbeta mwena ebiro bina mwije mutwegiteho achayi tushemererwe hamwe na Bishop Wito abwo arahanga ni hangari yanjye ndeka turebe Michael kakushikire etara yantunga municipality kandi umunyeto
abwa Gntv Agarikwotsya ndikirinto nabwe omu district yantungamo
Mnonga kubara hamwe n'iki agongo tabatwiniro mu abaziyogu nandi EVAS AKANKWASA murari kurungi